All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to Blame Your Brother, episode 267. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you were in the chat room, we do this every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so come hang out with us on YouTube, youtube.com/blameyourbrother. And if you missed that, you can grab the podcast Friday morning on all the platforms. We are Blame Your Brother. I'm one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of people, Glenn Jackson, spiritual midget, Mr. 40%, Mr. Wonderful, and this gentleman sitting over to my left, it is John.
Everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Group Promise, PTI, the madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, so David, John, we'll be talking to you for the next hour or so. And we have many things to talk about. We're doing the Mount Rushmore of halftime performances. John goes first, which sucks for me, but that's fine. We'll get to that. We'll pick out which performances. And there have been some interesting ones, you know, so we'll break all that down.
There have been.
And we will talk about the Super Bowl halftime show there. We got Kanye's losing his damn mind. We got some updates to do, but let's kick it off here. I posted a video of the show on TikTok. And that damn thing blew up, John. I mean, it's got over right now 20,000 views. My phone was blowing up with so many comments. Now, in the clip, we were just literally talking about, the clip is like less than 30 seconds. It's us just saying, he said the N-word. You shouldn't say the N-word. There shouldn't be, it's literally just saying, there shouldn't be a 4-minute clip of you saying the N-word. That's literally the clip. Dude, every racist in America came out on this thread. Man.
Oh, great.
I was unaware. And I should have known. I know Joe Rogan has a big following. I'm not stupid, okay? I did not realize these people were going this hard to the paint. I posted it on Friday night. I went to sleep. I wake up, and my phone just, it collapses. There's so many notifications. I was like, what? First one I read, who are these two knuckleheads? And I went, oh, this is going to be great. And the first couple of comments were just insults upon insult. And how dare you talk about Joe Rogan? Who are you two morons? Who are these two idiots? I actually enjoyed it. I laughed. I actually gave points to the two knuckleheads will always stick with me because that's the first one I saw. I literally was just laughing. I said, how many views does this thing have? Because it had like hundreds of comments, John. I mean, hundreds. And I was like, oh my God, this thing has like 10,000 views. And it just, so I went on Saturday, I took my son to Dave & Buster's, and my phone was just like constantly, every time I would go on there, refresh, there were more comments. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a rush, dude. I mean, I can't even explain. Like, I understand it now. Like when people get on here, and they get all like, it is a rush just to see. I'm not the kind of guy, I'm not going to go in there and like reply to everyone. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, once you get up to 500 comments, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
And
not without a teen.
Right. But I did. Yeah. You're right. I mean, I'm one guy doing this, but I just learned, man, there are a lot of people out here supporting this man's right to drop the N-word. And there are a lot of white people. One black guy actually made a video in response to our video and said he can say it. And I'm like, you're not the ambassador to the black nation, brother. You don't get to pick what all the black and white.
You are one guy.
I know. And so it just is alarming how many of these white people are. This is the hill they're dying on, John. It's not even the vaccine stuff anymore. We've said it on the episode. If the guy wants to go out and say don't get vaccinated, whatever, dude. I can't stop you from saying it. You know, I personally wouldn't say that to people, but I'm not on that hill to die. Not saying the N-word or making bits where you're comparing the black neighborhoods to Planet of the Apes. People are defending this. They're out here defending this, John. They think this is acceptable, and I'm like, there's a whole new. We'll get to a whole new world. I think it's become more clear just how divided life is to me over the last couple months. Like, I think you know it, but this really was like, oh my God.
What is the line that Joe Rogan would have to come up to where people are like, okay, no?
So I think what I always think is the line is not
What do you have to
necessarily
be like, you know what I like? Child porn.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think the line is pedophilia. Honestly, I mean, I'm not even being serious. I think rape. Now, if he's coming out and saying he's a rapist, I still feel a lot of his people would support. They would make a way that, oh, that's not what he meant. You know, even with the N-word thing, they're like, oh, he was quoting. No, he was not quoting. He was not quoting in these clips, dude. This was not him reading off a prompter. This was him having discussions about him. Yeah, pedophilia is usually the line. That's what I always think the line is. That's why I say if you really want to bury like any political leader, if you find out the dude's like not even 5-year-old boys, like teenage girls. I read today that Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sanz. So Horatio Sanz is like being accused of sexually assaulting like a 16-year-old girl. And apparently they were inviting this girl to like after parties, him and Jimmy Fallon were. And I'm like, this is not good. And that is generally in society where we draw the line. It's kind of crazy. So that was fun. So, you know, people were exposed at least to the idea of the show. I don't know if we got any extra listeners out of it, viewers, but people saw that clip.
It's so weird because, I mean, I think me and you both agree that if we could be wrestlers, it would be more fun to play a heel.
100%, yeah.
The thing is like, you got your reaction to this video was heel-like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're saying things that a good guy would say.
And that's what's weird about it.
It's so like...
It doesn't make sense, John. That's what blows my... I can't... It's just like... that's why I post these clips from the show. I never think any of them are going to take off. I really never like. I'm like this is the one. This is the 20,000. Actually, sometimes when I post the ones I think are going to blow up, do nothing, right? Yeah. And the idea that all these white dudes are just like, I'll say it, I'll keep saying it, and then this is the best part about the thread. You had internal fighting between people. I was out. It was like literally people just fighting between each other, like.
So there were actually some people that were like...
Oh, yeah. So you find the early people that come in are the people that are Joe Rogan supporters. But then after them starts to become people that sided with us, you know, like, oh, you know. So it kind of evened out a little. But there's always going to be more of the anti, I feel, you know. But
well, that's everything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean
you're not going to have more people to go out of their way on Yelp to say how great something is.
That's true. Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you go to Yelp or Google, yeah, all the top thing. I always love going to read those because they crack me up. They're just the most ridiculous things.
Most of the really bad reviews are things that have nothing to do with that business or whatever.
Oh, I love it. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's just like the most ridiculous. You're like, dude, seriously? This is what you're giving this restaurant a 1-star review? Yeah, they're always good to do. Speaking of that, how was your Valentine's Day before we get into Super Bowl talk? All right?
It was all right, yeah.
Because we have made a habit as we've gotten older is we like to order our food, go get it, and bring it back to the house where we can all eat together. You know, back before there were kids, we'd go to the restaurant, you'd wait an hour, 2 hours, whatever. Now I got kids, you don't have to do that. So we called to Texas Roadhouse. That was called, yeah. So we called, and my wife said it's an hour wait. And I was like, all right, that makes sense. You know, it's Valentine's Day. I get there. I wait another 30 minutes. It's supposed to be curbside pickup. No one ever comes out. I have to go inside. The order's just sitting there. I'm like, is that my order? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, no telling how long this has been up here. That's great. I get back to the house. Half the stuff's missing. The steak is rare as can be. My wife did not order a rare steak. I had to take the steak, John, and I had to cook it to what she wanted it, right? I mean, it was absurd. I say all that to say is my wife called the store. They kept hanging up or the phone was disconnected. Finally, someone called her back the next day. And I sent a tweet out because I've always learned that if you hit a business up on Twitter, you're more likely to get a response is from big chains. So my wife got 50. So our entire bill was like $60-something. We just got like something for me, something for my wife, and I think my wife and the kids split something. So $60. My wife got I think $40 credit. They sent me $35, so we got $75. So we came out ahead on that one. So there we go. But no, it was all right, man. It's Valentine's Day, but as you get older, it is what it is, right? I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the great event that happened this past weekend. That would be the Super Bowl. So, John, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did not.
Oh, man. So okay. When did you find out who won the game?
That night.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when you went to sleep, woke up?
I went to sleep, I woke up, went to work, and within like 10 minutes of being at work, cat was out of the bag.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a great game. I say that because here's the deal. On the show, I mean, as noted, I predicted the Rams would win. Okay. I just looked at logically who would win. And I said my kids were for the Bengals. So this was a constant struggle throughout the night. So I had myself, my father-in-law, Corey was there, and my kids, his kids. So we're all watching the game, having a good time. And my kids are they're so invested in the freaking Bengals winning. It starts getting kind of like
Heated?
yeah, I mean, it's getting personal, and I'm just like, my son Nick is like really invested in this team.
It seems like whenever you and Nick butt heads,
Yeah.
it gets,
I mean, he gets mad.
yeah.
And so,
Because I remember, like Nick was a John Cena fan when he was in the WWE, and used to
Right.
just,
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so the game's going back and forth. It's a great game. I mean, it's a fantastic game. I loved it myself. And it's, I see it's going to come down to the end. And I've told my kid the entire week leading up to it. I said, listen, man, here's why the Rams are going to win. They have a better defensive line than the Bengals. And they ate up Joe Burrow, and I said they would, And I told him, I said, at the end, Aaron Donald's going to make a play to win this game. I said, you watch it. And my son's just like, he ain't doing nothing, Dad. He ain't doing nothing. I was, all right. I said, okay, man. I said, we're going to see what happens. And the two back-to-back plays, since you didn't watch it, the Bengals had 3rd and 1. They ran the ball. Aaron Donald grabs this guy with – now, these are grown men, brother. This massive man, Aaron Donald, grabs this guy with one arm while he's being held and throws this guy back for negative yard, like 0 yards. I looked at Nick, and now it's getting heated. I said, "You like that?" I mean, it's getting heated. And then the last play of the game, Donald grabs Burrow, tosses him, dude, and Nick was so mad. And I just went, "Why are you so mad?" Number one, I said, "You don't even like the Bengals, and are you rooting against Aaron Donald? This guy's been playing in the league for years." My reason I want the Rams to win is just because Stafford has been with the crappy lines for 15 years, man. This is a chance to win. The Bengals will probably get back. The Rams are done, dude. They're probably done after this year. But
yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. I
mean, Stafford had a great time in Georgia, but
right.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So, but fantastic game. Love the game. So you didn't really watch. I mean, you probably watched highlights or whatever.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I mean, like I tell people, I love the sport of football itself. Like football itself, I love it, and it was a great game. At the end of the day, even if the Rams had lost, I still just wanted a good game, and that's what I got. But let's talk about the halftime show. This is really where I want to get into things. Now, the halftime show this year was Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar. I mean, a who's who of hip-hop royalty.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm making a Mount Rushmore, I've already said before, I've got Eminem and possibly Kendrick Lamar on my list already, But whatever the point. And Dr. Dre could be on there, Snoop Dogg. I mean, whatever, dude. These are, mine is 50 Cent, who has still had some bangers. And, Mary J. Blige is not really rap, but hip-hop. She's a queen. So I was very excited about this. Now, did you watch any of this? Did you go back and watch it, or you just
I meant to. I have it on. I had the whole game, including the halftime show, on the DVR. I just haven't had a chance to.
Well, I mean, I loved it. I thought this was It's one of my favorite halftime performances of all time. I mean, we're going to list our Mount Rushmore. Obviously, the standard is Prince, right? Like, everything is judged against the Prince Super Bowl halftime performance. I felt this was, I mean, you can't say just as good, but it was good, you know. If Prince doesn't exist, I'm looking at this going, whoa, like, forget about it, you know. And I love rock and roll. I don't want people thinking like, oh, this guy, he only loves rap. I would argue I probably love rock more than rap, or at least equally. So I watched this. I heard a rumor that Tupac's hologram was going to be at the show. Did not happen, unfortunately. But when Dr. Dre started playing I Ain't Mad at You, the first piano, I started running around my living room like a freaking fool, John. And Corey just goes, no Tupac hologram. And he was right, no Tupac hologram. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic, perfect. I thought it was just a great combination of all these people coming together. Obviously, everybody's talking about 50 Cent gaining the weight.
Yeah. I think my favorite joke is that he ain't 50 Cent anymore. He's Dollar Bill.
Yeah, I get that, man. And, you know,
I mean, I live the life, so I ain't trying to say nothing.
True. Look, if I was him, David, if I'm speaking for me, would I have tried to lose some weight? I would have. But, you know, if you're comfortable and you don't care, whatever. And I feel it does. And he kind of jumped in on the joke. I mean, he made a post about it. I mean, you've got to, right? I mean, if this was a woman and people did this, it would not went over well, which, you know, we're still divide on that. But, you know, I'd have to feel if you're fat shaming anyone, you just got to be careful with that stuff, man. Anyway, but hey, you knew people were going to talk about it. I mean, come on. You had the music video where you're ripped with a freaking six-pack, and now, you know.
Well, he's been all over the place because after he kind of fell off, he actually lost a whole lot of weight. He was just, I mean, he looked sickly for a while, and then.
Now he's where he is. Well, you know, he had been commenting on someone's weight about Madonna's a couple months ago. So, you know, kind of be careful, you know, 50, what you're playing with. But it was great. I mean, whatever, dude. Like I say, I think Eminem's the greatest rapper that's ever lived. Dr. Dre's the greatest beat producer that's ever lived. Kendrick Lamar's the future. I mean, Snoop Dogg is just, he's larger than life, you know. And so I love this performance. And I thought, in my mind, everyone would love this performance. And boy, oh boy, John, boy, oh boy, was I wrong on this. I didn't even think people wouldn't like this, John. I didn't even think about it. And then, because I get on my Twitter feed, and I live in an echo chamber, fair enough, all hip-hop heads, just loving it. It's just the feed is just, loved it, greatest thing, loved it, loved it, loved it. And then the next day, I get on Facebook, which I probably should have knew right there. That was probably a mistake. And I saw a local news person just ask people's comments on it. And I clicked on the comments because I just like abuse, John. And my God, I've never seen so many angry white people in my life. I mean, these people are more angry than the Williamson County parents with the mask mandate. I'm being serious, man. Like, these people were putting on there, this was the most ungodly performance they'd ever seen. It was the most disrespectful to law enforcement. It was wrong. These thugs were up there performing their music. We need some country music up there. We better get some country music. George Strait better come up here next year and say this. I turned off my TV. I don't watch this stuff. They're taking knees. And I just went, holy cow. This is the world I don't live in. This is the world I'm not aware of, John. I forget this world exists. So much, even some Facebook people were commenting on it. Like, people that we know, Baco said he didn't like it or whatever. And I went, all right, so here's his response on social media. Because I asked, what was everybody's favorite performance of all time? He said, Prince is number one, without a doubt. The rest are pretty much all hype that didn't deliver, okay? It says, I don't want a band I respect to do it. When they do, I am embarrassed for them. I know people who love this year's halftime show think anyone who didn't absolutely love it is an illiterate redneck racist. But that is too lazy. I don't think that is too. I think that's a lot of people, but not all of them. It's possible some people actually appreciate a live performance. becoming a smaller and smaller group, but some of us actually think that the Super Bowl halftime show plays a role in music being devalued. I didn't like it, but I knew I wouldn't. I won't like next year's. It's not for me. And I own a record by most of the people involved in this year's, but the whole thing has become such a shit show. This year was no worse than others. The house seemed cumbersome. The map content was cool, blah, 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 blah. The choreography looked cool. I love Kendrick, but it's lip syncing. I don't know. Anyone can lip sync, and they're far better dancers if that's all. It's a spectacle. Call it what it is, a sellout. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I believe that, and when we get to the list, I mean, it'll become pretty obvious as well. But I mean, it's not just a concert. It's a show. It's supposed to be a spectacle. So I mean, if you don't want a spectacle, which it sounds like that's his thing, then
right?
Yeah, then turn it off for that half hour.
I would agree. I mean, I don't even know if he really watched it. But this,
the thing is yeah, you have those albums at home. Then why even if that's all you want, why would you ever go to a concert?
Well, he says he doesn't want lip syncing, and the statement that this devalues music is, I mean, I don't even understand that.
To me, I don't know if there was a lip sync or not.
Well, apparently they lip sync every year is what I've been told.
Sometimes it's obvious that they don't.
For the most part, I've heard they lip sync it. I've heard they do not let the bands. I'm right. I'm with you. I don't know, right? Because there is a line. We can look at like the Rolling Stones performance and go, well, they were not obviously playing to a track because they were screwing up parts left and right.
Not only that they were adding stuff to it. Like, I mean,
right, but
never gonna stop. I mean,
yeah,
that's not in the track.
So I don't know if maybe are they recording this before they get on stage? I'm not sure, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers, 100% were not playing along. I mean, 100%. So I don't know.
I mean, for that one, I mean, Bruno Mars was playing too, and he started the show off with a drum solo. And I mean, I've played drums before.
Yeah.
He was hitting those drums. That wasn't fake. That wasn't. Right. That was legit. The Aerosmith, NSYNC, Mary J. Blige,
Britney.
That was live. That was.
Yeah, I don't know. People say,
and so now. I mean, I don't know if if they're not lip singing, they're doing the thing for real.
Right.
Which is, I believe, most of them. I think most of them are real. I might be wrong, but just the way the songs are cut up, they're mostly cut up into medleys.
Right.
They're not playing the whole song.
Right.
If they are singing for real, to me, everything else that they're doing raises the musicianship of it.
Right.
To be able to do all that stuff and still not, even if you do screw up a little bit, miss a note here or there, hey, you're doing a lot of other stuff on the side.
Right. I'm with you. I mean, I don't have a problem if they lip sync. I mean, especially, okay, you look at this crew. I mean, I think we're all well aware that Eminem can rap. I mean, he's the best rapper to me that's ever lived, but I think we're aware these people can do this stuff. They're not trained monkeys. I mean, what you want them to get on stage and be your trained I mean, number one, you got to look at, if you're at the stadium, you're not going to know anyway. You probably can't even really hear. You know, there's a reason the Beatles stopped performing back in the 60s because you couldn't even hear them. The Beatles on record said we weren't even singing half the time. You couldn't even hear us singing, you know. And so, I love a live show. I get you. But I love the spectacle of the live show. If you told me Adam Duritz, which would be almost impossible, but if you told me it was lip sync, I don't really care. Okay, fine. Yeah. I don't really care. I don't think that devalues the music. You created the music. You can go out and present it and sell it however you want to. It's not about, this is my problem with like these rocker dudes. Dude, I want a good song. I don't care how you do it. If you're using auto-tune, good for you. If you're using studio guitars, good for you. I don't really care.
Here's the difference. Do you remember when Everlast played on Saturday Night Live?
Yes, vaguely, yes.
That he did that Whitey Ford Sings the Blues, whatever.
Yes.
What It's Like.
Yes.
That song was atrocious.
Yeah. He probably should have lip synced.
He should have lip synced. The thing is if there's that much of a degrade
Yeah.
in your product,
Just-
then hey, you fire up the
Right. You should do it, right?
Yeah, do it.
I mean, people gave Ashley Simpson hell about that, but I'm like, who cares? Dude, are we really?
At least she owned it. You talked to her today, and she's like, "Yeah, that was on me. I wasn't feeling well."
But dude,
and
are you looking at Ashley Simpson going, I sure hope this girl can sing. I really hope this girl can sing or this lady can sing. Like, come on, dude, give me a break. Like you say, this is the Super Bowl, brother. This is a show. Truthfully, no one wants George Strait. I know these white people, I want George Strait. It would be a dull event. I'm telling you, they're not going to ask George Strait to do it. They would ask Garth Brooks to do it.
Garth Brooks could pull off the show.
Shania Twain has done it. Yeah, if you have a little pizzazz to your act, Brooks and Dunn and George Strait are not doing it, dude.
No.
It just wouldn't be that fun. And they've got to market it to people. I'm appalled at all these redneck racists that are using the word thug in place of the N-word, 100%.
Yeah.
And this is all about taking a knee. What are you even talking about, dude? I mean, my God, get over yourself. I can't stand it, John. And so I made another TikTok video where I said, I've uncovered the next year's Super Bowl performance according to the Facebook people. And it was literally the WCW, West Texas Rednecks Rap is Crap. If you guys never listened to this song, it is amazing. It is a bunch of wrestlers in WCW. This is a crazy story.
I think it was led by Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect is the lead singer, quote unquote.
It was like him and Jeff Jarrett.
No, I don't think Jeff Jarrett was in it. No, I'm telling you, I watched the video. It's not Jeff Jarrett,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
I watched the video. It's dudes you've never heard of, man.
On paper, I
think it
would
was
say Jeff
I think
Jarrett.
it was like
but-
Bobby Eaton, and it was a bunch of redneck dudes. They were feuding with Master P and the No Limit Soldiers, and this was like what they came out with. It's terrible. That's what they want. No one's going to want that. So I would be curious, and we'll get into the future and the past of it in the Mount Rushmore. I'm looking forward to that. But I love the halftime performance. Absolutely adored it, and kudos to those guys, man. Couldn't ask for a better show if you ask me. So, all right, well, let's get into a few news topics before we jump into the list real quick. A couple weeks ago, we talked about Taylor Swift and Jake Gyllenhaal, and she had re-released the song. What's the song called?
All Too Well.
All Too Well, and an extra verse dissing on my man Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm Team Jake Gyllenhaal, and if you're a Taylor Swift fan, I've already made my opinion clear on it. I think it's kind of dumb that you've written this song years ago now, and both of you have moved on. You're with new people. You've dated multiple other people, and you're putting this 8-minute track on there dissing the guy. It's just kind of low, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's me. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal gave a response today, and I want to read that for you. He said, they asked him, what do you think about this song, right? And he said, it's about her relationship with her fans. He said, Jake said, it is her expression. Artists tap into personal experiences for inspiration, and I don't begrudge anyone for that, which is a pretty good answer. He says, at some point, I think it's important when supporters get unruly that we feel a responsibility to have them be civil and not allow for cyberbullying in one's name. That begs for a deeper philosophical question, not about any individual per se, but a conversation that allows us to examine how can we or should even take responsibility for what we put into the world, our contributions into the world. And that's what he said about it. I feel it's a great statement.
It's a stand-up statement.
I feel, whether he feels that way or not, which he probably does. I mean, once again, it feels like she's holding all the weight of this relationship and he's not. And look, if you date Taylor Swift, if you date Adele, if you date anyone that's a singer-songwriter, there's a good chance they're going to burn you on a record. If and look,
at least Carly Simon's not telling you who it is.
Right. She'll go to the grave not telling you who it is. But I don't know. I wanted to bring it up. And now I want to talk about our man Kanye West real quick. And he's having just a meltdown, bro. I mean, a meltdown of meltdown. So he has a new special on Netflix. It's documenting his rise up in the hip hop game. I was watching last night. It's very interesting. He goes all the way back, in his beginnings. But him and Kim Kardashian have divorced or are in the process of getting a divorce. They're separated, and she is dating Pete Davidson, and he was dating Julia Fox, I believe is her name. and they've split up. And now Kanye has made it this point of doing all these like crazy things. Like he's on Twitter like attacking Pete Davidson.
Shut the front door.
He says Pete Davidson has AIDS and that Pete Davidson is dated Hillary Clinton and all this like really weird stuff. And he's releasing private text messages between him and Kim Kardashian. And we're starting to get into, this is really like, we're almost on this is harassment, at this point. And Pete Davidson, better than me, texted him. He said, hey man, I don't want any issues between us. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be a father to your kids. Nothing like that, dude. He goes, I don't want any problems. And then Kanye's like, oh, there's going to be some problems. I'm just like, bro, what do you want this guy to do? Like, it's over between you two. So I just want to kind of read just a few excerpts here from the story. So it says, let's run through West's behavior over the last few days. He ended his rebound relationship with model Julia Fox. He's isolated himself from friends like rapper Kid Cudi. He told Kid Cudi that since he's friends with Pete Davidson, he will no longer be working with Kid Cudi. Him and Kid Cudi have been working together for years.
Yeah.
He's raged against SNL cast member Pete Davidson. In one post, he encouraged his fans to scream at Davidson on the street, then mock Davidson's attempts to make peace, the text I was telling you about. And he has repeatedly shared text messages from Kim despite her clear discomfort. Why can't you keep any of our conversations private, she wrote West. He responded, I got a text from my favorite person in the world. I'm your number one fan. Why wouldn't I tell anyone? I mean, this guy, man, look, I love him as an artist, or I did love him as an artist. His last few albums have honestly just not been that great, but his early stuff I will love forever. I will cherish forever. He's one of my favorite rappers, but he needs help, man. I mean, this is not a 16-year-old guy doing this. This man's like our age, John. Look, you with her, you guys didn't work out. You're moving on. If you were going to get her back with you, brother, this is the wrong way to do it. Yeah. This is like the opposite of everything that's going to happen. And and to kind of piggyback on what Gyllenhaal said, to him saying this, to, putting this negative energy out there for Pete Davidson, you've got to know that some of your fans are going to be a little off balance, and they might take some of these messages to say, and I say it's to Taylor Swift and to him too. And I know they don't like each other, but but you've got to be careful with this stuff, man. You've got to say, if you have millions of fans or hundreds of thousands of fans, there are deranged people out there, right?
Well, you look at Donald Trump in January 6th.
Yeah, good point.
All right.
Good.
I mean, Kanye's got fans that are probably as disturbed as he is, just like Trump had fans that are disturbed as he is. And those are the people that did that. And so, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, there probably are people stalking Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yeah.
And probably bugging the crap out of Pete Davidson now. Because of the things that they are singing, saying, whatever, about these people who are completely innocent. I had a crush on a girl back in high school.
Okay.
And she let me down in the best way possible. Yeah, she told me she had a boyfriend.
Right. Did she?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, she was gorgeous, so I mean,
right.
It's 100% believable.
I mean, I know. I mean, I
yeah.
Didn't, okay.
But so. I was kind of a douche about it, and I hated her.
Oh, okay.
for not liking me.
Right.
But I mean, one day I was like, "Is that right?" No, it's not. I mean, there's plenty of people that I'm not head over heels in love with. That doesn't make me a jerk or a horrible person. So she's not a horrible person for not being head over heels over me.
Right.
So that's what happened with you and Jake, Miss Swift.
Yeah. It happens, right?
It happens. How many relationships were you in that you broke off? How many songs do you have about Taylor Lautner? How many songs does he have about you?
Right.
How many times did he go to Twitter and say how horrible you were for dumping him? Not a single time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. You got to just be careful, though. These fans are fanatics, brother. If I put this up, we might be attacked once again. But
Put it on
but-
TikTok. Here we come.
but the truth is the truth, man. You've got to let this shit go, man. Look, I'm with you. Yes, and to clarify, when John said this was him, you were in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. When you get
I
to
was 15 years
Yes.
old.
We were all at 15. We were mad as hell when someone didn't like us. Of course, our brain wasn't capable of going, oh, yeah, people don't like people for any number of reasons, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. In another timeline, maybe they do like you, but they don't like you on this one. This is psychotic behavior. And I just say, man, if something happens to one of these people because of either of them, and really Kanye more now at this point, where he's telling people, Taylor,
He's actively telling people.
yeah, Taylor never said go after the guy, but she's got to know. She can't be putting stuff out there. Not once again, these people have power. Like, dude, you're Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Thing was great. That's like the best example. Yeah, you got it. And I don't know if he knows that, man. And I don't know what's going to happen. This guy, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose him, but if you just look at his history over the last few years, something is off with this guy.
I mean, for any future young lady out there that ends up with dating, yay,
Right.
make sure he's the one that dumps you, all right?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I was listening to a Rock Candy podcast. It was their last episode this week. It was a little bit bittersweet. I was listening to it. It was a fun episode. They talked about how they, the origin of it. They answered questions, and somebody had asked them a question about the girl that was married to Elon Musk. Grimes is her name. And they said, why would anyone marry this guy? And I just laughed. I go, why would anyone marry Elon Musk? I would marry Elon Musk and have a kid with him if it was possible. Why would I? I wonder why anyone would marry him.
Cha-ching!
Why does Julia Fox want to get with Kanye? I wonder why these women get with these guys. Could it be the money? Yes, so anyway, I just want to touch on that. It's just bizarre, man. And I hope it dies down, especially Davidson seems to be being very cool about it, when he doesn't have to be. I mean, truthfully, he doesn't have to be. And then some great news, John. I just want to give my heart goes out for Shailene Woodley today, who no longer has to deal with the douchebaggery known as Aaron Rodgers. They broke up for whatever reasons. I guess they weren't getting along. Why do people get engaged and then literally like 2 weeks later, like, oh yeah, okay, we're broken up, or a month later? It's like, I don't know, you probably shouldn't have gotten engaged, right? Like,
I wonder if the engagement was like semi-public and they don't want to just be like, no, in front of these people.
it could be. I just look at pictures of those two together and I'm like, that dude is so much older than her. I don't know how old she is, but he looks so much older than her. I mean, like, just there's something about his dead eyes that he just, I don't know, man. So good for her. I mean, this guy
dodged a bullet.
Yeah,
right
you
there.
dodged a bullet. Go date someone your own age. You're in Hollywood. You'll find and someone that's in your political persuasion. Never understood why. If I got divorced tomorrow, and I go out and I would date like a Trump person, it just wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like that was their big thing. They said a couple weeks ago when I started to go, I don't know if this relationship is going to work. They go, we don't talk politics at home. Okay, well then why are you married to the person? Like,
Yeah,
politics.
That's a big thing,
That's like-
especially today.
Yes. I mean, do me and my wife agree on everything? No. And we have discussions about it. I would never say, we're just not going to talk about this anymore. It's stupid. So I hate that guy. So anyway. All right. Well, that's all the news stories I got, John, except for one more. I'm just going to throw it out there real quick. We almost made the whole episode without Hulk Hogan was trending this week because it came out he believes that people are dying from the vaccine like currently. So he's an anti-vaxxer. And a lot of people had speculated he would be a guest at this year's WrestleMania, but now they're saying that guest is going to be Stone Cold, who might actually wrestle a match with.
I've heard Kevin Owens. Yeah.
Oh, please.
I would guess.
Please let this happen. So anyway.
I think Kevin Owens is magical in the ring.
Oh, those two will have, even if it's 2 minutes, people want to see Stone Cold back. I mean, the guy has not wrestled in, I don't even know when. I mean,
About 20 years.
It's been 20 years, bro. Oh, please let this happen. So that's good. So it's not going to be Hogan, I would say. I mean, the guy on top of being a racist who said some very racist things, said the N-word a lot. He's also an anti-vaxxer. I just think there's a correlation between an anti-vaxxer and a racist. There seems to be a lot of these two things together. Like, are you a racist? You might be an anti-vaxxer. You're an anti-vaxxer, you might be a racist. I'm just guessing. Like, if you're a con artist, you're trying to get somebody's personality. Anti-vaxxer, you might not like black people. I don't know. So anyway, I'm not saying all of them, but I'm just saying. Kind of leans that way. All right, well, let's go. Let's get to the Mount Rushmore of halftime Super Bowl shows. So, John, we looked at how many? You must have looked at a list, right? You didn't do off memory for this one, did you?
I mean, for the first few, yeah, okay. I had some in mind.
All right.
And
okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, so we're gonna look at all of them, and it'll be interesting to see kind of why you picked something, and maybe why it made the list and everything. So. Unfortunately, like I say, John this week goes first, and our Mount Rushmore, if this is your first time ever listening, is draft style. So John will pick first, and once he picks someone, I can't pick them. So when he picks Prince, I can't pick Prince. So if you look at my list, you go, David, you love Prince. Why didn't you have Prince on your list? It's because he picked it, which is fair, and it makes it fun. We don't, I think it makes it more enjoyable because otherwise we might have the same exact list. Like, Back to the Future. Oh, yeah, okay. So Prince, okay. So anyway, and we do 1 through 4, and we go back and forth. So John, what's your number one pick?
I wonder what it's going to be.
What's your number one pick?
I mean, we were talking about this last week as you were leaving, what our Mount Rushmore would be.
I almost would say.
And I said.
Not Prince. I almost want top Mount Rushmore of Super Bowl halftime shows that weren't Prince.
You were walking down the stairs, we were talking about it, and I said, I wonder if I'm going to pick Prince.
I mean, you could pick Michael Jackson. You could argue more iconic. It was before Prince, but anyway,
it was before Prince. But I'm saying Prince.
Okay, your number one's Prince.
It's Prince.
I just feel we should just in the future, if there's ever a definitive
like beyond like GOAT.
Yes, well, we did top football players that aren't Tom Brady, right, or top Muppets that aren't Kermit. But anyway, okay, Prince. Talk about the Prince performance. It was magical.
I mean, you've got everything. You've got the spectacle. You've got the talent. You've got the songs, I mean, and the he's got that soulfulness, but the high energy. I mean,
dude, it started raining during the Purple Rain.
Yes,
I mean, my God, man, like if that had, there's those moments in life where you're like, if this happened in a movie, this would be absurd. Like if me and you were watching a movie about an artist that, as of the Prince personality, and at the pivotal scene of the movie, he has a song called Purple Rain, and rain just starts coming out of the sky from nowhere. We would look at that movie and go, that is dumb as hell, dude. That's lazy writing. This actually happened in the real world. And the man never stopped playing, man. He never stopped playing. He is, one of the greatest artists.
The stage was cut out like his guitar.
Oh,
I mean, everything was just like.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, even covered the Foo Fighters. What a performance, man.
I've always said, like if there were two people that I could have the talent of, number one would be Prince.
I would concur.
And number two, Bruce Lee. But I mean,
Prince and Bruce Lee. You heard it here first. Wow. Okay, Prince and Bruce Lee. Wow. I guess I've never really thought about like martial arts. I would always just go with another artist. I've always wanted the vocal ability of Freddie Mercury. Anytime Queen comes on the radio, I'm just like, how does this man exist? Like, how was this guy on earth doing these things? But anyway. All right, so you got Prince. All right, so I'm gonna grab the obvious. And I know, I don't know what you're saying for. I mean,
I know what your next one's gonna be. I know what it's gonna be.
What is it?
It's Michael Jackson.
No, I'm not picking Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick, and sometimes recency bias, but I've already said it. This year's is all time. Okay. I've told you if Prince did not exist, I would have declared Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent. Like I said, I'm not a Mary J. Blige fan. I heard the hits. I recognized them. But my God, Eminem and just Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar, I'm done. So I'm going with this year's as my – I think it's – rap-wise, nothing's going to beat it.
If you're a rap fan, then this is – like you said, it's royalty.
Yeah, it's
so
never
you're holding court.
Because Tupac's dead, Biggie's dead, so, they're never going to perform. That's it. I mean, you're looking at the royalty.
Is he? Is he really dead? No.
If someone said this on social media, I think we can all confirm Tupac is dead because if he didn't come back at the Super Bowl, that dude's dead, man. Because can you imagine? Can you imagine?
I was thinking about that when you were talking about the hologram.
Yeah.
I was like, what if he popped up?
Okay, would you bump Prince if Tupac had come back? You wouldn't bump. You would not. If Tupac come back from the dead,
I would have had to watch it because I have. If I didn't watch it, I'm not putting it on the
I
list.
wouldn't give a damn. If Tupac would have come back from the dead, that's 1 through 4. I wouldn't even. I'm done with the list. If this man had been faking his death for 20 years, bro, that's a number 1. Okay, that's my number 1. So you can have Michael Jackson.
That's going to be my.
I don't have Michael Jackson on my list at all.
Really?
But anyway, I've watched it. It's just not that great, man.
What?
The evolution of the show has gotten better. You look back at that, it's just not that great, John.
I think without
that
show,
it's in the middle of the day. It's just not.
Man,
I'm
the way he pops up out of the top of the. I mean, and that's the start of it.
I know.
Look,
man,
it gets emotional. He's all over the place as far as.
Were there kids at the show, John?
Of course there were.
Okay, well then it's strike 1, 2, and 3. All right, I've told you, man. I wrestle with the legacy of Michael Jackson all the time. If someone said you can never listen to him again, I'd be like, I'm fine with that. I've not actively went and listened to Michael Jackson in a long time. I mean, if I'm at a party and someone's like, "Yo, put on some Michael Jackson," I'll be like, "All right," but I've never went to Spotify and went Michael Jackson playlist. But anyway, but I get you. I mean, as far as shows goes, I think that show changed the way they did Super Bowl shows moving forward. I mean, are you really discrediting who were those people that did it back in the people?
Those people?
The people?
What do you mean, those people?
The people movers? Do you know what I'm talking about? The first Super Bowl, one of the first performances was the People Movers or something. And it was just folk. It was like, here's why I know what this is. Because Baco said, are you going to have, I forget what they're now. I'm going to look it up while you're doing your next one after this. But they're called the People Movers or something. It's like just a bunch of hippies with acoustic guitars. I worked with a woman who told me, this was years ago, that she was at the Super Bowl. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, she goes, yeah, I performed at the halftime show. And I went, what?
She performed?
She showed me a video before I knew what this was. She said, I'm in that crowd right there. And I was like, that's crazy. And then she told me the entire story of it. That's either she's a pathological liar that happened to know about the people movers or whatever they're called. This was bad. This is one of the first early Super Bowls. But anyways, okay.
Yeah, I'm discrediting them.
I know. Of course you are. So Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so any more comments? It was the middle of the day. He popped on the stage. John cried. I mean, people weren't even watching the show at the time, John. People were not watching the halftime show. I'm telling you.
There were people in the audience singing along.
Well, of course, where are they going to go? They're at the freaking Super Bowl. It's Michael Jackson. It would be weird if they weren't singing along. No one at their house was like, hey, man, let's tune on the halftime show. Look, I get you, man. If you're going just OG, I can't knock Michael Jackson.
I think that if you were to pull up YouTube and said Super Bowl halftime shows, I think if the first one that's going to pop up as a full, complete show that you can watch will be Michael Jackson's.
No.
Well, pop it up. Let's try it. Let's see.
Wait, so you want me? Oh, I'm looking. I want to look up the People Movers or whatever. All right. So these people were called.
People in the chat. You want to contribute to this little?
Okay. What do you want me to look up?
Fake wager.
So we're gonna do this right now. So you want me to take what? Super Bowl halftime.
Super Bowl halftime shows.
Okay.
And just see which one's a full complete show.
All right.
At the top of the list.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, full show. So number 1, number 2, what do you want me to do? Videos? What are we doing here, man?
Go to YouTube.
Okay. The Call. Let's see here. Mary J. Blige. The Weeknd is actually the next one. John, it's going to be more recent. They're not going to put that show is boring. I've watched it multiple times. It's not that good.
I don't think it's boring.
All right. Well, you'll probably get points because it's Michael Jackson, but the show wasn't that good. All right, my turn. Let's go to a real one. Let's go to one that, in my opinion, this is the one that got everyone interested. We all know it. Nipplegate. Janet Jackson is number 2 on there. That's the one. Do you want to know who was at this performance, John? Janet Jackson,
Justin Timberlake.
P. Diddy, Kid Rock, Jessica Simpson, and Nelly were all part of the same performance. I do remember actively being at Chris England's house.
I was telling my wife about this earlier
watching
today.
the show, and that's one of the first times I can ever actively remember being like, let's watch this on TV. Now, the year for this one was 2004. To me, that's really when people actively started saying, we need to pay attention to this. It's the one I remember. But you got to put that on there, dude. It's an epic moment. The performance was fantastic. I mean, Justin Timberlake was at his peak right there. Janet Jackson is...
I mean, do you ever remember hearing the phrase wardrobe malfunction before that day?
No. It set the standard. It's why a lot of people for years started watching just because of what might happen, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, Janet Jackson is a GOAT. She's fantastic. I mean, Kid Rock, politics aside, the guy can put on a hell of a show. I mean, he's a damn showman, you know?
Yeah.
Nelly was hot at the time. Jessica Simpson was just a dime at the time as well. What a show. P. Diddy, if there's no Dr. Dre, we're putting P. Diddy up there, you know, for producer. Great show. So, yeah, Janet Jackson's my number 2. There we go. So we both got Jacksons at number 2. How about that? Both have Black Man number 1. So, see what happens to your number 3. I know John's putting a rock group on there, and I think I know who it is.
I got to go. I mean, I've already quoted one Bruce tonight. I'm going to go with the other one right now. Bruce Springsteen.
You got to go with the Boss, yeah.
I mean...
2009.
He's just America. I mean, when you think of anything that... I mean, and oddly enough, his probably most notable hit is kind of anti-America, but nobody knows it.
Right.
But...
the Republicans like, born in the USA, baby, hell yeah. I'm like, all right, dude. Like,
you don't really know what that's about, do you?
You don't know what you're talking about.
But there's just something about like just the nitty gritty of when someone says the phrase like to be American.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of think of him. I mean, just the way he's just like. The way he carries himself, there's a gruffness. It seems like he works for his music.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And it's displayed definitely at the Super Bowl show.
It was great.
Yeah.
The slide into the camera.
Yeah.
Meme moment, you know. And yeah, I mean, if you just, this is what I'm saying. This is why people like, we need George Strait. No, dude, you need workhorses like this.
Yes.
You know Bruce String's going to give you a hell of a show, dude. Regardless of whether you're a diehard fan, casual fan, you know the guy's got the E Street Band behind him. They're gonna kick ass, dude.
And I could not imagine Bruce Springsteen agreeing to doing a lip sync.
You're right. I mean, you're probably right about that. I'm going to look into this lip sync thing, man. I don't know. I'm with you.
I'm not saying it's never been done before.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a big show. But I've heard too many people, like, flub a note here and there. And just the layout of the songs, they're not, they're too different.
We're going to hear on this, dude. There's going to be people going to get us on this. All right. So the Boss.
The Boss.
All right. Well, let me get your Boss. And I'm going to bring you a bigger band. And a lot of lists I looked at said this was the best show of all time. Ender would agree. U2, 2002.
The timing of it was impeccable.
The year after 9/11 happened.
It was the season of.
Right.
Yeah.
It was at New Orleans. Crazy shit was happening. U2 came out. I remember being at somebody's house watching that going, there's a reason why U2 is one of the greatest rock bands that's ever existed. You know, whether you like Bono or not, they put great music out.
Yeah.
And they are showmans. And it was a great show. They were down there with the crowd. The optics of it were fantastic. They have the damn hits. They played them. And it was what, you know.
They showed the names of the victims of 9/11.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And even Bono had his jacket lined on the inside with the depiction of the American flag.
It's crazy, bro. It was great. And once again, I'm looking for, do you have the hits? Am I going to stay there and want to watch this? And yeah, U2 is one of those bands where I'm like, yeah, dude, they have so many great songs. And yeah, just the timing of it. Sports and music, this is why people love it, because it creates these moments, man, where it really heals people and lets people move on. So yeah.
I've always said, if you want to make a movie better, You add either music or sports to it,
And there you go.
and boom,
You got both.
it.
So, yeah, U2 is my number 3. All right, so who's your last one, John? What you got here?
Ooh,
Some good choices, man.
I'm torn between two different ones.
All right. We'll talk it out, I guess. 'Cause I don't know where you're going. I don't. How far back you want to go to the first Super Bowl, John? Oh,
No.
I'm trying to find these people pleasers. Look, you keep okay. You just talk out your decision. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can talk what your two choices are, John. It doesn't matter. I can't grab them at this point, man. So
Yeah, that's true. I
So
mean,
what-
I'm torn between
what are you torn between? I'll try.
either the Coldplay, Beyonce and Bruno Mars,
That's a good one.
or Lady Gaga, which
I have Lady Gaga high on my
she-
list.
yeah.
honestly.
I mean, if you were to look at my list, if I go with Lady Gaga, that's my list right there.
Well, it's up to you, man. I mean, you got.
She really brought the spectacle. She's doing acrobatics, 50 feet in the air.
No, that's great. Yeah.
She got
Just
emotional
put
moments
Lady
too.
Gaga on the damn list, and
All
man, that's
right,
obviously
yes.
what you got to go with, man. Lady Gaga, yes.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga is a freaking rock star. You know,
She is.
she's one of the last. Honestly, she's one of the last rock stars. I mean, there's no more rock stars anymore, man. She is David Bowie adjacent. People are like, oh, I can't believe you would say that. Say what? She makes great music.
I mean, I would say if David Bowie and Madonna had a baby,
It would be her,
it'd be.
but she's
be
a
Lady
better
Gaga.
she's a better singer than both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, she is. She's a better singer than Madonna, and she's a better singer than David Bowie. I mean, you listen to the freaking soundtrack to.
No, I mean, I've always said that David Bowie's trying to channel Dracula when he's singing.
I know, but I love Bowie. But yeah, I wish
I do
Bowie-
too,
wish
but I
Bowie-
mean,
wish he had done a freaking. I wish I knew what these people were called. The people power. God, because Baco even freaking he tweeted me about it or something. Anyway, okay, whatever. Who cares? All right. So anything about any further about Lady Gaga? It was great. It was a great performance. She's fantastic.
she's just all over the place. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, my last one then, I got to go with one that was just talked about for a long time. And I love this artist. Shouldn't. I don't care. I'm not going to be ashamed about it. If you didn't grab Lady Gaga, I got to put Katy Perry. Katy Perry and the Left Shark. Don't ever forget about the Left Shark, man. Yeah, Katy Perry
Yeah.
put her.
She came in on a mechanical lion.
Can't beat that,
That
right?
was. I mean, it looked pretty dope.
You cannot beat a mechanical lion. I'm with you on that. I mean, I know it sounds funny, but it's true. But I think, honestly, as far as just pop performers, and so I say Lady Gaga to me is more. I don't really. She's pop, but she's more than pop. But
a lot of people. it's kind of funny. There's a dichotomy of like where people, especially pop people, will be like, "Are you a Katy Perry or are you a Lady Gaga?" And it's, I mean, obviously the theatrics of Lady Gaga
right
is kind of over the top, which that's the way she likes it.
I would. So who are you? Which of those are you?
I think there's a soulfulness that Lady Gaga has that Katy Perry doesn't.
Yeah, but who are you gonna put in?
If
on
I had a
stereo?
choice between those two,
Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
I'm a Katy Perry guy. I love her song. I legit love her songs, dude.
I like Katy Perry's non-hits more than I do her hits.
All right.
But I mean, Lady.
So you
Gaga
like whose
is-
hits do you like better?
I like Lady Gaga's hits better,
Okay.
but I like Katy Perry's like sleeper songs better.
Yeah. I think Katy Perry's like I say, as far as pop, she's one of my favorite pops. I mean, she writes great songs. I've put on many Katy. I've gone and searched Katy Perry before. I have Lady Gaga, but more so probably Katy Perry. So, all right. Well, I don't think I'm able to find a stupid thing, but I wish I could, and I'm sure somebody's going to hit me up on it. But let me go ahead and read off our list, and then John, you kind of tell me who else you had on yours. John had Prince, Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, and Lady Gaga. Impressive list. I had the Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Janet Jackson, U2, and Katy Perry. So, John, who else was on your list that might have made it?
Rolling Stones, like I mentioned earlier.
No. They were bad, bro.
They were bad, but
They were bad. Just call it, man. They were not good.
I had them on the list just because it was 2 years after the Nipplegate, and
That's true.
They were just trying to. I think they brought him in last minute
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
because they're like, we need somebody that's safe but can still rock.
Up with People is the name of the group. Up with People. They were in Super Bowl 1986.
I think you're missing a word in there.
Up with
I
People.
think it's up yours with people.
Up with People is an American nonprofit organization that uses a 5-month program including travel, the performing arts, volunteering. They performed Super Bowl. Up with People. Anyways, who else?
That made my night. Anyway,
I'm just saying, the lady I worked with said she was in Up with People. Okay, why would she know that? That's a weird lie to have, John.
It is a weird lie, but I mean, we discussed the
Okay,
lie
so
earlier.
Go ahead,
today.
hurry up. Who else you got? Who you got?
The Coldplay Beyonce one, and the Aerosmith NSYNC, Britney and Mary J. Blige.
Good one. If I missed, Tom Petty was a great one. Bruno Mars. God, I kind of feel bad I didn't put Bruno Mars because he's really a great performer.
I think that one was great, except for I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers almost clashed.
Yeah.
I think that actually brought it down
But
a
he's
little
done
bit.
it twice, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, the other one.
He was with
yeah.
Beyonce and Coldplay.
I can't pick Beyonce on any list. Shania Twain was another one, no doubt. That was a fun one. And The Who. The Who was kick-ass.
Yeah.
But we've already got all of our rock groups. So there you go. That's our Mount Rushmore. We would love to hear yours. Actually, we got a few. Trapper actually gave me his. Let me see what Trapper's is. Trapper said he has Prince, Michael Jackson, 2022. Oh, the recent one, and Tom Petty. So he's right there with us.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Good, nice. And then Baco just said Prince, and all others don't matter. So there you go. Well, we'd love to hear your list, so share that with us on social media. And we have come to the end of another show. That's right. So it was a fun one. Discussed a lot of things. We'd like to hear from you, what you thought about it. If you go check us out on the web at bybpod.com. You can go follow us on all of our social media links. Follow us on TikTok. Man, we're getting crazy. I'm getting videos getting 20,000. I did another one with Nick, right? So Nick's sitting on his bed, right? He's got the keyboard, and I taught him how to play the Dre, Forget About Dre, and he played it. Dude, that got 20,000 views, man. People are loving it. And then there were some racists coming out going, oh, you like that halftime show? You like those thugs? I was like, oh, God. But that was primarily like positive. A lot of people are like, you got that dad swag. I was like, all right, there we go, dad swag. I think that's good. So yeah, so you can follow us there. But anyways, what else can we do on the website, Don? What else
you can go to the Amazon affiliate link. Valentine's Day just ended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of you are in the doghouse.
Probably most.
Go to Amazon, make it all better, but go to our website first. Click on the Amazon affiliate link before you have to go buy that jewelry and those things for your wife to make things to pad things over, and it'll help us out.
Yeah,
help us help you.
Like I'm saying, chat, like, subscribe, hit the like button right now if you're watching. I got to give comment on the night before we leave. This is from Firestorm, I believe your nephew. He said, I bet Taylor Swift paid Marvel to kill Mysterio off in Spider-Man. And that's why you need to be in the live chat. You guys were great tonight. Thank you so much. John, with all that being said, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Or Jake Gyllenhaal.
Or Jake Gyllenhaal. Or Pete Davidson.
Or Kim Kardashian. Or those thugs.
Those thugs.